श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम सहना भवतु, सहनो भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। 8th chapter 7th श्लोका। यस्मात् एवं पूर्वस्मरण अभ्यास जनिता अंत्या भावना एव तदानीं परवशस्य वेदांत देहांतर प्राप्तौ कारणम्। यस्मात् एवं, since it is so. What is so? पूर्वस्मरण अभ्यास जनिता, because of the practice which was done before, whatever is gained. What is gained? Antya bhavana, that final bhavana, that final thought. Tadanim, at that point of time. At which point of time? Paravashasya, one who is in paravasha. Paravasha is a term which normally used for people who are in horripilation kind of, no, in ecstasy. But here paravasha means he is under the control of someone else, something else, not himself. One who is not under his control. That is the paravasha here. Okay, so not horripilation or things like that. Okay, so tadanim, at that point of time, at the deathbed, his sense organs don't function according to his whims and fancies, according to his will. Therefore, that final thought function which is gained because of the previous practice, dehantra prapto karanam, is the cause for gaining the next birth. Since it is so, yes, Mahadevam, since it is so, tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyaja mayyarpita manobuddhi mam evaishya asamshayah eshyasya samshayah. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyaja mayi arpita manobuddhi Mam eva eshyasi asamshayah. Beautiful. This is another promise by Bhagavan. Okay. Tasmat, therefore, sarveshu kaleshu, at all points of time. Sarveshu kaleshu, at all points of time. Not 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening. That will not suffice. At all points of time. Okay. What should I do? Mam anusmara, think only about me. Yudhyacha, and also fight. Oh, I know. This is book of war. This is why I keep repeating. Because he says, Bhagavan says this. Tasmat yudhyacha, therefore fight also. Go and fight. Here you have to understand. Again, remember, not understand. Again, remember whatever I said earlier. Bhagavan is not initiating him, putting him in the fight, but he has come for fighting, and Bhagavan is reminding him of his duty, his swadharma. Therefore, remember that. Mai arpita mano buddhi. Placing your mind and your intellect in me, surrendering your mind and intellect in me, mam eva eshyasi, you gain me. Mam eva, only me. Asamshaya, there is no doubt about it. That's another promise. Okay. Tasmat, therefore, mad visheka antya bhavana utpatyartham, for generating this final thought function of me in the form of me, the self. Sarveshu kaleshu, it is not only at the time of death you can remember, because that is why he says antakale cha, he added a cha, that's a caveat, that's a cliché. So you have to think about him always, only then you will be able to remember about him at the deathbed. So that is why he says sarveshu kaleshu purumeva, at the prayer itself, before your death itself. Adarena mam sagunam ishwaram anusmara chintaya. With love, adara, with love, think about me. Satu dirghakala nairantarya satkara sevito drudabhumihi. That is exactly what is said here. Okay, so anusmara chintaya, remember me. Yadi antakarana shuddhi, no, you say it is you think about me, but how can I think about me? Because I have so many things which I have to concentrate on. Even though you are doing things which are not uh, in tune with this, you can do thinking about, like doing like cycling. While cycling, while practicing, you are little unfocused. You cannot balance yourself in the cycle. After learning how to cycle properly, you don't even have to catch the handlebar. You don't even have to hold the handlebar. You can ride the cycle as you wish without holding on to the handlebar. If you want to turn to the left, you know how to turn. You just turn the body and the cycle turns to the left. You can do that. So similarly, I have so many things. How can I think about only Ishvara? If you say, that is because of your impure heart, impure mind. That is why he says, Yadi antakarana ashuddhi vashat, because of my impure mind, if you say, na shaknoshi satatam anusmartam, I cannot think, I am not able to think about him. I cannot think about him always. If you say yadi tatah, then antakarana shuddhaye yudhya cha, fight the war for purification of mind. What is this? Fight the war. Remember, nitya yudhya cha antakarana shuddhyartham yudhyadikam swadharmam kuru. Perform your duty for the purity of mind. If you are a householder, you have to perform the duties of a householder. If you are a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, you have to perform the duties pertaining to that class and caste. Not anything, because Bhagavan very clearly said, Swadharme nidhanam shreyah paradharmo bhayavaha. The other dharma which is not prescribed for you will only bring fear of death, fear of hell. So yudhyadikam swadharmam kuru. Therefore, practice your dharma which is prescribed for you. Okay, yudhya iti yudhyasva ityartha. Yudhya, the word yudhya is not actual proper Sanskrit usage. It should be yudhyasva. But instead of yudhyasva, he has used said yudhya. This is what we call as arsha prayoga, rishi prayoga, chandasa prayoga. Chandasa prayoga means Vedic usage. So Vedas cannot be curtailed. You cannot say Veda, you should say only this, or you should only explain things in this way. There can be no Paryono yoga or Niyoga for Veda or people like Krishna. Therefore, evam cha nitya naimitika karma anushthanena अशुद्धिक्षयात् मयि भगवती वासुदेव अर्पिते संकल्पाध्यवसाय लक्षणे मनोबुद्धि येन त्वया स त्वम् ईदृश सर्वदा मच्चिन्तनपरः सन् माम् एव एष्यसि प्राप्स्यसि. एवं च, in this way you have to perform your sadharma. Swadharma means it can be karmas prescribed for the daily routines, for the occasional routines, etc. Right? So nitya naimittika karma anushtanina, by performing the karmas prescribed daily and occasionally, anushtanina ashuddhikshayat, your impurity of the mind is cleansed. Therefore, Mai Bhagavati Vasudeva Arpite, with the mind which has been surrendered to me, in Vasudeva, Sankalpa Adhyavasaya Lakshane Mano Buddhi. What is Mai is Bhagavati Vasudeva Arpite. By surrendering in me the Vasudeva, surrendering what? Mano Buddhi. What is Mano Buddhi? What is the definition for Mano Buddhi? Sankalpatmako manaha, Sankalpa Vikalpatmako manaha. There are two kinds of definition for mind. Sankalpatmaka, that which is always thinking about something or other. That is mind. Wills, desires. So that is mind. Adhyavasayatmiko buddhi, nishchayatmiko buddhi, that which determines is buddhi. So that which wills differently and that which is determined, that kind of definition for which that kind of manobuddhi, mind and intellect, yena tvaya, which is surrendered to me, that kind of you, by whom you, that you, satvam idrisha sarvada, that you always, what should I do? Mat chintana paraha, having meditating on me, be meditating on me, son, mam eva yashyasi. By meditating on me always, you will gain me. Only me. It is not you meditate on me, you will get something else. We have already negated that. Your meditation, your object, the final thought and the result will be same. Whatever you thought at the final second of death will be the result, not something else. So, mam eva yeshyasi prapsisi. You gain only me, not something else. Asamshaya natra samshaya vidyate. Don't doubt. We even if Bhagavan says, we uselessly say things like that. Who is he to say? So Bhagavan himself promises you, trust him. Okay. So idam cha saguna brahma chintanam upasakanam uktam tesham antya bhavana sapekshatva. This whatever is said is with reference to the upasakas who meditate on the attributed self, because their travel is dependent upon the final thought function. Nirguna Brahmajnaninam too, but for the people who practice the Nirguna Brahman attributeless self, for them jnana samakalinam eva ajnana nivritti lakshanaya muktehe siddhatvad. At the very point of knowledge, the ignorance is removed. The knowledge dawns and then the ignorance. No, there is no then the ignorance. At the very point, like my two hands are joined. Now, if I remove it, I cannot say first my right hand is removed and then the association with the left hand is removed. No. No, it cannot be also. First my left hand is removed, then once I remove my right or my left hand, at the very moment, the association of the other hand is also negated. So, once the knowledge dawns, at that very moment, the ignorance is destroyed, annihilated completely, along with its effect. Okay, that is what is mukti, and that mukti is gained. Siddhatva is already established. Therefore, na antya bhavana apeksha iti. Therefore, there is no dependency upon the final thought function. See, only for the people who meditate on the attributed self, the final thought function is necessary. Not for the Vedantins who meditate on the non-attributed self. Okay? Tadevam saptanam api prashtanam uttaram uttva. So now, in this way, we have answered all the 7 questions. After explaining this, prayanakale uktva, tva pratyaya is used. Uktva means samanagartakayoh purvakale tva. There is a sutra which says at the same time when there are 2 activities said, the previous activity will be suffixed with tva. So after doing, after saying, after explaining, after giving the answers, he is doing something else. What does he do? Prayanakale bhagavad anusmaranasya bhagavad prapti lakshanam phalam vistaritu. To explain in detail what the result, what kind of result? Bhagavad prapti lakshanam, the result of gaining the self, for whom one who meditates on the Bhagavan at when prayanakal, at the time of death. For the one at the time of death who meditates on Bhagavan gains the result of Bhagavan. To explain this in detail, Arabhate, he begins this next portion. Because why he has to say this? See, 7 questions were asked and 7 questions are answered. Complete. Chapter should be over. Why do you continue with this chapter? For that, he is explaining the reason. Okay. अभ्यास योग युक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्. अभ्यास योग युक्तेन मनसा चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति हे पार्थ अनुचिन्तयन्. Beautiful this is. Abhyasa yoga yuktena, through the practice of samadhi, by associating with the practice of samadhi, the mind chetasa, with the mind which is associated with the practice of samadhi, and not just the practice of samadhi, non-nigamina, the mind which is not turned towards something else. There are two things. The mind, chetasa, is adjectified with two adjectives. One is it should be endowed with this practice of samadhi. Another thing is it should not be associated with something else. Because you can say, do you love your father? Yes, I love my father. You love only your father? No, I love my father and my mother, and my sister and my brother and my. Now you are including the whole world. So you should not say, do you love Ishvara? Yes, I love Ishvara as well as. Now there is no as well as here. No anyagamina. I love Ishvara. Full stop. Over. So he says, Paramam Purusham Divyam. Paramam Divyam Purusham Yati. He gains the absolute, divine. Paramam, absolute. Divyam, divine. Purusham, self. Yati, gains. He gains that absolute divine self. Hey Partha, O Partha, Anuchinten. Meditating on this, as said, Anuchintayan, as said, he will gain. As said where? By the teacher and the Shastras. Okay, we'll come. Abhyasa. Abhyasa means, what is this practice? Sajatiya pratya pravaha. Abhyasa means, practice means continuous thought function of same class. Sajatiya, smana jatiya. Continuous thought function of same class. Pot, cloth, elephant, like that. Self. Bhagavan, Rama. Some thought. Okay, so in me. So it is not thought function of some object, because we have already negated that. So we say thought function of self. If you meditate on the attribute itself, you will gain the attribute itself. If you meditate on something else, you will gain that something else, like dog, cat, etc. We explained yesterday. So he says, Vijatiya Pratya Anantarita Sashtya Adhyaya Vyakyata. And that thought function should not be disturbed by some other thought function, which was explained very clearly in the 6th chapter when we explained samadhi. Okay, sa eva samadhi yoga. That saya yoga samadhi. That yoga is what is called as samadhi, because yujir, this root word, is in the meaning of yoga, to co-join, to join two things. Now we don't accept that meaning. Yujir, yoga is the root word, we accept. Yujir, samadho is the root word, we accept. So in the samadhi, in the sense of samadhi, that samadhi, tena yuktam. Mind fixed on one thing, one mind which is endowed with that, one who is endowed with that. Tatreva vyapratam atmakara vritti itara vritti shunyam. A mind which is completely filled with that atmakara vritti, and which is not associated with any other, which is devoid of any other thought function. Mind filled with this thought function of self, and not filled with matra. We use this term matra. When you use matra, it is only this and not something else. To show that, we say matra. So similarly here he has said that a mind which is fixed on self and not something else, that kind of mind, yet chetaha, that mind, tena, with that mind, chetasa, tena chetasa, with that mind, abhyasa patavena, because of the expertise in, because of the strength in the practice or expertise in the practice, non-nigamina, the mind does not travel to something else. The mind is fixed. Na anyatra vishayantre nirodha prayatnam vinapi gantum sheelam asyati. So the mind which does not travel to some other object. See, you have to understand this. Otherwise, it will be very complicated. See, na anyatra vishayantre gantum sheelam asya. That is how we have to do anvaya. The syntactical connection is na anyatra vishayantre gantum sheelam asya. The mind which is not sheela means practiced, which has no practice of traveling to other objects. Nirodha prayatnam vinapi, even without the practice of curtailing. Nirodha means censoring. Even without the practice of censoring, preventing the mind from traveling otherwise, even without that practice, the mind is habituated, sheelam, habituated to think about the self without anything else. Okay? Tena, with that kind of mind, paramam nirdeshyam. Param means absolute. Absolute means where there is no equal or greater. That kind of absolute. Purusham. Purusham means purnam. Complete. Again, infinity, absolute. Okay. Divyam. Divyam means divine. Divine means divi. Dyotanatmani aditye bhavam. That which exists in the illumining sun. What is this illumining sun? You have to remember this. Because we are not talking about that which exists in the illumining sun. We are not talking about the solar system kind of thing. Because the Shruti says, Yaschasava aditya iti Shruti. The Shruti Taittiriya Upanishad says, Yaschayam Purushe, Yaschasava aditya, sa ekaha, sa ya evam vit, asman lokat pretya, etamannamayam etc. The Shruti goes. So, sa yaschayam Purushe, that one who exists in the Purusha, Yaschasava aditya, and that one who exists in the sun, sa ekaha, they are one, identical. Sa ya evam vit, one who knows it to be so, asman lokat pretya, after leaving this body, he travels beyond the 5 koshas and remains as the absolute self. Okay, iti shruti. This shruti explains that. Yati gachati he partha. He gains that. He travels, he gains that. That is what the idea is. O partha, anuchintayan. Anuchintayan, that's a beautiful word. Anuchintayan. Anu means paschat, afterwards. Chintayan means thinking. Thinking after what? Shastra acharya upadesha anudhyayan. Following the teaching of Shastra and the Guru. Not Shastra and the Guru means not two different things. Following the teaching of Shastra independently, then you can study it from the book. Following the teaching of Guru, then you can follow these idiots who call themselves Guru and give you tricks, breathing like dog, etc. This is not what we are talking about. We are talking about the Guru who teaches based on the Shastra, that teaching, following that, you gain this. Okay. Punarapi. Again, there is another issue. What is that? Tam eva anuchintayitam gantavyam cha purusham vishnashti. That very self which you have to meditate upon, which you have to gain, is explained here. Vishnashti is explained in detail. Kavim puranam manushasitaram anoraniyamsam anusmaredyaha sarvasya dhataram achintya rupam adityavarnam tamasah parastat. It's not complete actually. You have to bring in words from the previous sloka or the next sloka. We'll see that. Kavim. Kavi means Krantadarshi. That is how we normally interpret. That's how Bhagavan Bhashyakara interprets in his Bhashya. Kavim Krantadarshi. One who is a revolutionary thinker. Krantadarshi means revolutionary thinker. What is revolutionary thinking? One who thinks beyond, out of the box. One who knows things beyond your perception. The past, present and future. Means Sarvajna. One who is omniscient. Puranam. Pura api nava iti Puranam. Puranam normally is a Purana cheese. In Hindi they say Purana cheese. That's old thing. In other languages they use the term Purana to say it is old. Something very old. But when we say Purana, it is with respect to self. When we say with respect to self Purana, it is Pura api nava iti. Though it is old, it is always ever new. Okay. So, Anushasitaram. That ever new, Anushasitaram, Anushasitaram. Shasita means ruler, one who rules everything, one who guides, commands everything. Anoraniyamsam, that which is smaller than the smaller and bigger than the bigger. Smaller than the smaller because it gives existence to that smaller. Therefore, it exists inside it. Bigger than the bigger means it gives space for that biggest thing to exist. Therefore, it is bigger than the bigger. That self, anusmaret, yaha, one who meditates on that. Yaha anusmaret, one who meditates on that. Sarvasya dhataram. Again, the same self is explained. Sarvasya dhataram, one who protects everything. Achintya rupam, that which is beyond the thought, beyond the mind, beyond the thinking. Aditya varnam, that which is of the color of sun. No, it is not color of sun. That which is effulgence like sun. That which is effulgent like sun. Tamas of parasa. Tamas means darkness. Parastat means beyond. That which is beyond the darkness of ignorance. Okay? That you should meditate upon and you will gain that. That is what is the connection. Okay? Krantim. Anuchintayatyam gantavyam cha. That is what you have to understand. Okay? Kavi. Kavi means Kranta Darshanam. One who is a revolutionary thinker. Who is a revolutionary thinker? Tena, because of being a revolutionary thinker, thinking beyond the limits. Atita anagatadi ashesha vastudarshitvena sarvakyam. Since he knows things beyond the past and future, therefore he is omniscient. Puranam. Purana means chirantanam, eternal. Means sarva karanatvad anadimiti yavat. Because he is eternal, he is the cause for everything. Therefore, one who is anadi, beginningless, causeless. Okay? Anushasitaram. Anushasitaram means he is the one who is the guiding principle. So, sarvasya jagataha niyantaram, one who rules, one who guides the whole world. How? We saw in the Taittiriya Upanishad again. Bhishasmadvadah pavate, bhishodeti suryaha, bhishasmadagnischendrascha, mrityurdhavati panchama iti. So, there it says, because of the fear of this self, vatah pavate, the wind flows. Because of the fear of this self, the sun rises, etc. Okay, now let us see. See, we say for every element here we have a adhishtatru devata, the presiding deity. For this earth also there should be a presiding deity. Let us say this presiding deity of the earth decides, I will not see. We thought it is going in a circular rotation. Then we understood, no, it is not circular orbit, it is an elliptical orbit. Okay, now it goes around the sun like an egg, in a form of egg. Okay, now let this earth deity decide, no, I will not go around this like an egg. Let me start a new way of traveling, my own way. There is a problem. There will be a problem. The solar system will collapse. Okay, this earth deity says, why should I always be the one who is running behind in close quarters? Let the other fellow run away, do this job. Take up my position. Let me go a little farther out. Again, the solar system will collapse. If the earth deity says, let me not go around this, let me stop, let this fellow go around me, again, the solar system will collapse. So, whatever may be that, it will collapse. So, this self is that which is instilling fear by just mere existence. See, sometimes what happens, just the mere existence of you will instill fear on the others and love on the others or hatred on the others. We can see that. Just by seeing someone you don't like, you have not met that person, you have not spoken to that person, you don't know that person, but you just don't like or you love them. Just first time you are seeing, you know that. So that is why he says, Sarvasya Jagataha Niyantaram, one who is the guiding principle, one who is the ruler for all the world. Anoraniyamsam Sukshmat Api Akashade Shushmistaram. One who is subtler than the subtlest space, etc., ether, etc. That Upadanata. Why? How can he be the subtler of the subtlest? Because he is the material cause for all these. Therefore, Sarvasya Karma Phala Jatasya Dhataram, one who dharane, one who protects or gives. the results for all the karmas. Vichitradaya vivaktaram, in different strange ways. Like two people born at the same time at the same place will gain different results. If you consult an astrologer, they will prepare chart. The chart will look same for both these fellows, but their destiny is different. How is that? This is because the result, you perform the karma, the same karma gives you different result. How? See, in the past, when you kill someone, it is in, at least in India, when they followed the rule of dharma, then a person who is intelligent enough to understand the consequences, he will be given more punishment than the one who is not intelligent enough to understand the consequence. Now later they said, no, you killed, therefore you are going to get the punishment. And then after that they amended the law. They said, no, even though you killed, you are not the person, you are just the arrow. This fellow is the instigator, this fellow is the person who has sent this arrow, therefore the other fellow will get more punishment. So they are trying to change the rules and according to the period. Okay, for the same mistake, at one point of time death penalty was the judgment which was given, and for the same result now it will be life imprisonment. In future probably he will be released because he will become a freedom fighter. Same result, he killed someone for which he was judged. A culprit will be a freedom fighter later. So he says, phalam ataovattehe nyaya. The nyaya, this Brahma Sutra very clearly establishes this. Phalam ataovattehe, the results are gained only from that self. It is established in the Vedas. Upattehe, the logic is there in the Vedas. Therefore, it is natural. Na chintayitum shakyam aparimita mahimnatvena. You cannot think about it because its greatness is unlimited. That is why Mahimna Stotra starts with Mahimnah param te param avidrusho yatya sadrushi. It's the Mahima, the greatness is so incomparable, I cannot even comprehend. No one can comprehend. So iti Mahimatvena Rupam yasya tam. That kind of form which is that self. Adityasya iva sakala jagat avabhasako varna. The light, the color, the light like the sun which illumines everything. Yasya tam sarvasya jagato avabhasakam iti yavat. That which illumines the whole world. It is not just illumining the whole world, it is also illumining the illuminer. When you say the sun is the illuminant, then the self is that which is illumining the sun also. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. Because of the effulgence of the self, all the other things become effulgent. Okay, so ata eva. For this very reason, tamasah parastha, that is beyond the darkness. Darkness what? Tamaso mohandhakara ajnana lakshanat. Mohandhakara, the deluding ignorance. Beyond that ignorance, which is of the nature of ignorance, that beyond that deluding nature, ignorance, deluding darkness, which is ignorance nature, that parasthat, it is beyond. Beyond how? Prakasha rupatvena, because it is effulgent and that is darkness. And darkness and effulgence are contradictory. They don't coexist. Therefore, tamo virodhini iti avate. It is opponent to your darkness, ignorance. That is the idea. Anusmare chintayet yaha kaschidapi. One who thinks, whoever it may be, yaha kaschidapi, whoever it may be, satam yati iti purveneva sambandha. He will gain that as said earlier. Sa tam param purusham upayiti divyamiti parainava sambandha. Or you can associate with the next shloka, he will gain that divine absolute self. In that way also. Kada tad anusmarane prayatna atireko abhyarthyate tadaha. When do we have to put more effort for meditating on that self is explained. Prayana kale manasa jalena bhaktya yukto yoga valena jaiva bhur madhye pranamavishya samyak satam param purusham upayiti divyam. prayana kale, at the time of death, manasa achalena, with the mind which is not disturbed, strict, focused mind. Na chanchala achanchala achala. Chala means to move. A mind without turbulence, without movement, fixed mind, focused mind. Not just that kind of a bhaktiya yukta, a mind which is devoted, which is having love. Yoga balena chaiva, and the strength of yoga, practice of samadhi. That mind, with this kind of mind which is focused, mind which has love, and mind which has the strength of samadhi. Okay, with that kind of mind, bhrur madhye, in the middle of your eyebrow, prana aveshya, focusing your prana, samyak, nicely done. And samyak how? By focusing on other chakras and bringing the mind to the Ajna chakra, tam param purusham upeti divyam. He gains that absolute self. This all you have to, okay. Prayana kale. Prayana kale means the time of death. Anta kale achalena ekagrena manasa. With a focused mind at the time of death, with a mind which is focused, tam purusham. That purusha, yo anasmareti tyanvartate. One who meditates, you have to carry forward from the previous shloka. Kidrisha. How? Bhaktiya. How should we meditate upon that? How do you think about that? Bhaktiya, with devotion, with love. Parameshwara dishayena paramena premna yuktaha. A mind which has absolute love for the Ishvara. That kind of mind. Yogasya samadhehe balena, with the strength of yoga samadhi, tad janita samskara samuhena, and the thought imprints which are produced by that yoga, prajna, that is given the name prajna. Okay, so that prajna, vichana samskara virodhina cha yukta, that mind which has the thought imprints of samadhi, and which has the constitutive thought imprints to the samsara thought functions, samsara thought functions, the attachments, etc. That mind, evam pratham hridaya pundarike vashikritya, mind, when after bringing it in control in the lotus of the heart, tata urdhvagaminya, from there it travels towards the higher planes, nadya, sushumna nadya guru upadishta margena. Through the sushumna nadi, the nadi called, there is a spiritual nerve called sushumna, traveling through this, as taught by the guru upadishta margena, as taught by the guru, not practice on your own. Because I have seen many crazy fellows, not crazy before, they became crazy because of meditating on this sushumna nadi, etc., not doing any kind of stupidity like that. Bhumi jayakramena, simple pranayama meditation, etc., is good. Like nadi shuddhi pranayama, etc., should be performed. I've been telling you again and again, but not complicated things. Bhruvor madhye. Bhruvor madhye means Ajna chakra. In your Ajna chakra, prana aveshya sthapetva, by placing your mind, prana means mind, by placing your mind, establishing your mind there, samyak apramattah, without any carelessness. Brahmarandra dutramya, traveling beyond the Brahmarandra, your Sahasrara chakra. So eva upasaka, because we are talking about upasaka, one who does this kind of upasana. He is not doing upasana on the deities. He is meditating on the chakra, the deities on the chakra, not externally. So for that upasana, that upasaka, this is said, not for everyone. Remember that. Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram ityadi lakshanam param purusham divyam jyotanatmakam upeti paripatiti. He gains that absolute self, which was explained in the previous shloka, with that which is omniscient, that which is eternally new, that which is the ruler of everything, that which is the effulgence for everything, etc. That absolute self, he will gain that absolute self. Idani. Yena kenachit abhidanena. Again, you have to remember, So you can gain through the yoga also, yoga, nidra, stupidity, etc. No. We have already established this. For a person who is a upasaka, who meditates on that, travels to the world of that deity, and there is only krama mukti. Okay? Not videha mukti or jivan mukti. It is impossible for them. Remember that. Okay? Idani. Yena kenachit abhidhanena dhyana kale bhagavad anusmarane prapti. Now, whoever it may be, it was said very clearly, whoever it may be. When that is said, now at the time of meditation, when we have to meditate on the Bhagavan, when this is established, now he brings in Kathopanishad. Sarve Veda Yat Panamamanante Tapamsi Sarvani Yat Vadanti Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Pravini Omityetat. What should you meditate upon? What should I know? Please tell me what that I should know. Only that. I don't want anything else. And this is what Nachiketa puts as his wish for the boon which Yamadharmaraja, the Guru, gave. Yama tries to dissuade him from asking this boon. He says, okay, take this, take that. But Nachiketa was very steadfast. He says, Tavaivavaha tavanurtya gite. Keep your song and dance with you. I don't want anything else. If you want to give me this boon. I don't want anything else. So finally, seeing his steadfastness, Bhagavan Yamadharmaraja, the Guru, he gives Sarve Vedaha Yat Padamamananti, that which is extolled in the Vedas, that state, that absolute, which is that pada means padaniya, that which is that which to be gained, that absolute state, that absolute self, which is explained, extolled in all the Vedas. Tapamsi sarvani chayat vadanti, for which all the tapas, etc., all the penance are explained. Yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti, desiring which one practices the brahmacharya, etc. Tatte padam sangrahena pravini. I will explain that state in brief. Om iti etat, that is Om. That is what it is, Om. Om is what it is. Tat Om iti etat, Om is what it is. Okay? Now, ityadi Shruti pratipadi tatvena. In etc., these Shrutis have established this. Pranava, pranveneva abhidhanena. With this name of Pranava, Omkara, tad anusmaranam kartavyam. One should have to meditate on that self. Na anyena mantra, mantradina iti niyamam upakramate. Not through any other mantra. This rule is established here. So you have to understand. Pranava, Omkara should not be chanted by anyone else other than a sannyasi. Only the sannyasi has the right for chanting independently Omkara. For the others, we initiate them in Omkara through the mantra. Om Shivaya Namaha, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Ramaya, something. Some mantra, whichever mantra we give, we add Om to it. Independently chanting Om is impossible for any other one. It should not be done. It should not be done. It is not choice there. So, that is why Omkara's mantra japa, to do mantra japa is different, and to meditate upon Omkara. To meditate upon Omkara means, as said in Mundaka Upanishad, or said in, see, that is why sannyasis, old sannyasis, I've seen some old sannyasis in Kashi who keep reading this text again and again. See, like yesterday I said, it will be very difficult for you after a certain age to sit constantly in a posture, in with folded legs, etc. That pain, etc. will come in. I said yesterday. So, because of that, they start reading this text called Panchikarana. What Panchikarana? I said Panchikarana is all stupid stories to tell you that I understand your problem. That this world is there. All those ideas. But Panchikarana is not real. If you say true. But in that text Panchikarna, through that text Panchikarna, the meditation on Omkara, Pranava, as said in the Mundaka Upanishad, of Akara, Ukara, Makara, what is Akara, what is Ukara, what is Makara, all these are explained. Akara is gross, Ukara is subtle, Makara is the subtlest, the causal, like that we explain there. So all that are explained in that text called Panchikarna. So that they keep repeating, reading again and again. Yadaksharam brahma vido veda vido vadanti vishanti yatayo vitaragaha yadichando brahmacharyam charanti tattevadam sangrahena pravakshe. Now wait. Sarve vedayah padama mananti tapamsi sarvani. They seem to be similar. Today, if you see a statement which is copied, pasted somewhere, we call it plagiarism. Now, this plagiarism is what Bhagavan did. He just copied things from Kathopanishad. Ye sarve vedaha yat padam amananti yad aksharam veda vido vadanti tapamsi sarvani cha yad vadanti vishanti yad yatayo vitaragaha. Okay, different words, that's all. Now here, yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti, yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti, same words. Tatte padam sangrahena bravini, tatte padam sangrahena pravakshe. A little like you when you copy from previous person's paper, you add a and or instead of just and or. When he writes without an article or something, you add article. Do some simple changes so that to show that I am different from him, I am not copied from him. Okay, so similarly Bhagavan is doing this. If you think, don't think like that. That is not the way to think, because he is Bhagavan. And where did Vedas come from? Tasya nishpasitam yetadrig vedaha, etc. So it came from him. Vedas came from him. And where did this Bhagavad Gita come from? From him. So the origin, point of origin for both are same. So if he uses the same words, there is no surprise there. Okay, yad aksharam brahma vido vadanti, that akshara, that which undecaying, indestructible self, veda vido vadanti, the knower of Veda, the knower of self, explain. Vishanti yatayo vitaraga, pravishanti, enter. Vishanti means they enter. Who enters? Vitaragaha, people who are devoid of any attachment, they enter. Those yatis, those sannyasis, they enter which state? Yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti, desiring which they practice the brahmacharya, etc., celibacy, etc. Tatte padam sangrahena bravimi pravakshe, I will explain that in brief, that state in brief. Yadaksharam ityadana. We will see this. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.